Today we're going to learn about slope. And what slope is slope is really a measure of steepness. So how steep something, a line is. So if you really want to get technical, it's a measure of the rate of change. But when we're just looking at a line, it's a measure of how steep it is, right? And we measure it by the rise over the run, okay? Rises, if we have 2 points, which right here we have this point right here, and we have this point over here, okay? What do we have to do to get from this point to this point? And we could say, yeah, we just go up this line, but how much do we go up this line? And so we calculate that by the rise, which is how much up. Rise is uppy downy, and run is side to sidey, okay? So the rise is up. So we go up to, which is +2, and signs matter, over run, and to the right looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 over 4 would be the slope of this line. Now, here's the deal. That's not a proper fraction. So we can reduce it. We can say that this slope, we could say it's 2 over 4, and we wouldn't be wrong, but it's also 1 over 2. And actually, if we look, we could have chosen this point right here instead of this point, and we could have said 1, I'm going to go up 1. So my rise is 1, up 1, and then to the right, boom, boom, 2. So 1 over 2. Now, let's talk about signs for a little bit, okay? If I'm at this point and I go up, that's really easy that's going to be positive, right? And if we go to the right, that's also positive, because if we look at our x-axis, positive is over here and negative is over here. And I don't have the negative part of the axis on this graph right now, but we know that negative is over here. So what if I started at this point? Can I start at this point? Do I have to start at this point? Is there a rule that says, oh, you have to start at that point? No, I could start over here at this point. And when I go rise, now, okay, I'm still going to do rise over run, okay? But now I'm going to go down 2. So if I'm going down 2, that's a -2, because negative is down, okay? Still going to have my rise over run. So I have my rise is -2, and my run is left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So left is negative. So I have -2 over -4. Well, we know that a negative divided by a negative is a positive, and I end up with +2 over 4. So it doesn't matter where I start. I could start here. I could start here. I could start clear up here. And it wouldn't even matter. Let's look at another one. Here's a line, and it has 2 points, okay? We've got a point right here, and we've got a point right here. Can we figure out this slope? Well, we know that the slope is the rise over the run. So I'm going to start at this point, and I'm going to figure out how much does it take to get up to that point. So 1, 2, 3, and now you can see I'm on the same line. So my rise is going to be 3. Is that a +3 or a -3? Let's see, I went up 3, so I'm positive, okay? Am I sure? I'm positive. So sorry. Okay, so I'm here. Now, I'm not over here yet. I still need to do my run, right? Rise is uppy downy, run is side to sidey. So up 3, and then to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 over 4. Now, is that a +4 or a -4? I went from the left to the right, so I went more positive, so it was a +4. Okay. So my slope is 3 over 4. That's it. Now I want you to look at these two. It's a little bit subtle, but this slope is steeper, right? If I'm going hiking and I'm not feeling super energetic, I'm going to want to hike on this mountain. I'm not going to want to hike on this mountain. Well, 3/4, if you look, 3/4 is the slope here. 1/2 was the slope up here. 3/4 is bigger than 1/2, right? The bigger the slope is, the steeper the slope is, okay? So let's look at this one. This one's going slightly down. Like if we look at this, let's imagine we have a teeny tiny Mrs. Barlow. Hey, look, I'm teeny tiny Mrs. Barlow. And teeny tiny Mrs. Barlow is going hiking. She'd rather go hiking up here, but she's going hiking, right? So she's standing at the bottom of this thing, and Mrs. Barlow hikes the same direction that people read. Mrs. Barlow hikes from the left to the right. Is she going up the mountain or is she going down the mountain? Well, here she's going up, okay? And this was a positive slope, okay? Remember, it was a positive 3/4. This was a positive slope. Let's see what happens to teeny tiny Mrs. Barlow. Now, Mrs. Barlow, teeny tiny little Mrs. Barlow, is she going to go hiking on this thing? She is not. Oh, we lost an eye. Mrs. Barlow. It's all good. Teeny tiny Mrs. Barlow is fine. Teeny tiny Mrs. Barlow, though, is not hiking today. She is skiing, okay? Because she's going down this thing. So let's see what happens. She's going down this slope. Let's see what happens with the sign of this thing. So first of all, okay, on this one, they gave me 2 dots, which was so lovely. On this one, I don't have 2 dots, but that's okay, because can I find 2 points? Sure I can. I'm awesome like that. So I'm going to find this obnoxious pink color. And look, there's a point right there where they cross. So would this point work? I mean, yeah, but what is that point? Is it 3.5? Is it 3 3/4? Or no, like not even 3 3/4. That's up. So is it 2/3? Is it 3/4? I don't know. I can't tell. So I'm not going to use that point because it's not crossing at a nice place. See this right here? It's crossing where it's a whole number, so I can actually tell what number that is, right? And I can actually count these whole things. Okay. So let's count our rise over our run. Now I'm going to start here and I'm going to end up here. Okay. I could start here and end up there. It doesn't matter. I get the same answer either way, but I'm just going to start here and end up there. So I'm going to start here and, oh, I'm going down 2. So if I go down 2, remember down is negative. So my slope here, it goes -2 on my rise. Okay, so I went down 2, so that's negative, and then I went 1, 2, 3 to the right, 3. So right is positive, so I'm not going to mess with that. So I have a -2 over a +3. Well, that's just -2/3. So this is a negative number. And guess what? When we have Mrs. Barlow skiing down the hill, a down means it's a negative slope. Okay. And what a negative slope means is that the slope is going to be a negative number. Your rise over run is going to be negative. So if you imagine a teeny tiny little Mrs. Barlow going skiing, wee, and she's going down the thing and it's awesome and it's fun. So if the teeny tiny Mrs. Barlow is skiing and you don't get a negative number, you've done it wrong, okay? And if teeny tiny Mrs. Barlow is going hiking and you don't get a positive number, well, you've done it wrong. So, so you need to be mindful of that, okay? Should we practice another one? Let's practice another one. Oh, this one's going to be tricky. Let's see what happens here. First of all, let's pick 2 points. Got to pick 2 points. Always have to pick 2 points. Let's pick this point right there and this point right there. Okay, so our rise over our run. okay? Well, we don't go up or down any, like at all. So what's our rise? Our rise is going to be 0. I rose nothing, okay? And then I ran 1, 2, so 0 over 2. Is that? Totally, that's possible, okay? So 0 divided by 2, if I have 0 cupcakes and I have 2 friends, how many cupcakes does each friend get? 0. No cupcakes for you, okay? So the slope is 0. Can we have a slope of 0? Yeah. Do we sometimes like to have a slope of 0? Yeah. On my kitchen countertops, do I like to have a slope of 0? If I put down an egg in the middle of my kitchen countertop, I want no slopes. I don't want my egg rolling off the countertop, right? If I have a floor in my house, I don't want a slope. I want to be able to just like put down a marble and have it not roll away, right? So slope of 0 is actually a really good thing sometimes. If I'm really, really tired and I just want to go on a walk and I don't want to go on a hike and I don't really feel like going skiing, well, let's go on a walk with no slope, okay? We can have a slope of 0. That's okay. Now this guy's going to cause us some problems. Let me show you how, okay? So slope is rise over run, okay? Always, always, always rise over run. When you're saying to yourself, how do I figure out slope? Well, it's rise over run. So let's pick 2 points. Let's pick this point and this point, okay? Well, I'm going to start here and I'm going to go here, okay? So my rise is 1, 2, 3. That was easy. So my rise was 3. And my run was 0. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, is where the universe explodes. Because we cannot and should not and will not divide by 0. So what happens when life gives us a vertical line? Because I've got to tell you, life's going to give you vertical lines, right? What's the slope of a vertical line? Like, how do I say that without dividing by 0? Like, what do I do? If I have a vertical line and I've got rise over run and I just divided by 0 and I know I'm not allowed to divide by 0 because the universe is going to explode, that's what you do. You say that slope is undefined. That's fancy math talk for can't do it, not going to do it, don't want to explode the universe. Okay. Here, the slope is 0, and that's totally fine. Here, the universe exploded, and that's really not okay. So our slope is undefined. Okay. So let's practice the first one in our assignment, okay? So, which graph is steeper? Well, graph B. And just tell that by looking at it, right? Graph B is a steeper graph, okay? Right directions explain how to move from one point on the one graph to the other for both graph A and graph B, okay? So tell me the slope, okay? So graph A, the slope is going to be, okay, I'm going to start right here. So I've got my little points and go up 2. So that's a positive 2 over 1, 2, 3, 2/3, okay? And then on B, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, up 4. And then to the right, 1, 2, 3, 3. Okay, I'm going to pause for a second. This is 4/3. And in math, we really like to put fractions in proper form. Should I say that's a slope of 1 1/3? Like, I can. And I wouldn't be wrong. But I'd be making my life really hard if I do. It is okay to keep it as an improper fraction, okay? Okay, so let's look at this though. So write the directions from part B and A and B as ratios. We kind of already did that. And then compare the ratios. So 4/3 is bigger than 2/3, which makes sense because graph B was steeper than graph A. And that's it. And then the rest is you just have to tell me what the slope is. Couple of these, and then this one, we relate the slope to the rate in this problem. And if you look, I want you to play with this one. I'm not gonna hold your hand through it. We might have to come back and address it because it can be a little bit challenging, but I think you guys are up for the challenge. So, but that's how to figure out the slope of a line, and it's really pretty easy. You just count, but you have to watch your negatives and you have to watch your positives. That's the one where most people get hung up. Make sure it's rise over run, not run over rise. All right, good luck. I think you got this. Bye.